I definitely hope that he is locked away for good, that he's never able to get out to ever do this to another human being.
Tonight, a woman who survived a kidnapping decades ago is speaking out after the recent arrest of Darnell Hairston.
He's a registered sex offender now accused of strangling an 11-year-old boy from St. Johns County, tying him up and holding him captive for days at a wooded campsite. Investigators say Hairston has a long and violent criminal history, and tonight one of his past victims is sharing her story with our Sydney DeShawn.
Heather and Anthony, Amanda Green is 46 and a mother of 3 now, but that day in St. Johns County back in April of 1999 still replays in her mind. She says she's heartbroken to learn another child may have suffered at the hands of the same man.
I think I was 22 at the time. I couldn't imagine being 11 years old.
Yeah.
What this baby is going to have to go through. Breaks my heart for him.
Amanda Green still remembers the day she was kidnapped by a man she thought she could trust, Darnell Hairston.
I'm not over it. I'm never going to be over it.
She says Hairston was a family friend and had already been convicted of sexually assaulting a child when he targeted her.
I had just had another new baby. I had an 18-month-old baby and a 4-month-old baby. I had caught him looking in my window while I was sleeping.
The next day, she says he pretended to offer her groceries, asking her to drive into the woods. There, she says he attacked her and her 2 kids with a stun gun.
I was stuck. Of course, I came back and complied.
She says Hairston forced her to call her mother and warned her not to contact police, but investigators were alerted anyway.
We wound up on a high-speed chase where he drove us off into the woods and left us with the truck, where I somehow was able to find my way out of the wooded area and was rescued by the police.
Court documents show Hairston was arrested in 1999 and charged with 3 counts of kidnapping with a weapon in addition to other charges. But months later, he was deemed incompetent to stand trial and committed to a mental health facility where he stayed until he was deemed competent a couple years later. In 2004, he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of false imprisonment with a weapon and was sentenced to 12 years in prison, but was given credit for time served.
Which I begged them not to do that.
He was released 5 years later in 2009, and she's lived in fear ever since.
I've been scared that he'll come across one of my children and, as they're grown and make me pay the price of telling on him back then.
Investigators say he has a very lengthy arrest history, including sexual battery and assault charges. Now 60 years old and a registered sex offender, Hairston is back behind bars, accused of kidnapping and aggravated child abuse, after deputies say he lured an 11-year-old boy into a wooded campsite and held him captive for days.
Getting lured in the woods is like the same as that story almost.
The child was rescued during this traffic stop on New Year's Eve in Flagler County. Sheriff Rick Staley says as this investigation continues, he, quote, wouldn't be surprised to learn there are more victims. Green hopes this time Hairston is never released and that the young boy can heal.
Now, Hairston is currently being held at the Flagler County Jail without bond. And within the past hour, we learned the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office is also actively investigating him. If you believe you have been victimized, you are urged to contact your local police department. Heather.